It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for your Yee Tea. Now, let's get into this Tory Lanez story. He did get stabbed in prison, and he's recovering from that brutal prison stabbing, but his reps held a press conference, and what they are trying to say now is that Megan Thee Stallion's ex-best friend, Kelsey Harris, is the one who should be in jail for that shooting. Now, here is what Walter Rabbits, who is the lead legal consultant, had to say about a bodyguard by the name of Bradley James, who is coming forward saying that he overheard Kelsey Harris admitting to firing the gun.
He was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Miss Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun.
All right, now, my producer Dan is here, and, just for some more context, this is Kelsey's security guard.
Correct.
And so later on, he's not saying he was present when this happened. Later on, he's saying he overheard
conversations.
Her conversation, which is I can't imagine having a conversation about something like this in front of people where you're saying.
I hear that.
But, this is what his claim is now in this case. And, they are trying to see about he's serving a 10-year sentence for this shooting. But it's not necessarily for the shooting, right?
It was possession.
It was
Correct?
possession.
Yeah.
So that still would not have to do with this, just to clarify.
Well, if he wasn't in possession of the gun.
Mm-hmm. Because what this claim is that Kelsey fired the gun 3 times, and then he grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and that's what caused the gun to fire 2 more times.
There was also a previous testimony from someone else that claimed it was that the shots came from the passenger side of the car that Kelsey was on.
All right, now, Tory Lanez's father was present, and here's what he had to say about the conversation he had with his son.
He said, "Dad, I thought it was my last. And having made my peace with God, I said, okay, is this how it's supposed to end for me?" God said no. Upon which he turned to the attending officers and he said, "You must get me to wherever is the closest place that I can get to." He didn't even know his lungs had collapsed. All he knows is that he couldn't breathe. He could hardly speak.
I can't imagine being somebody's father also, because any dad is going to ride out for their kid, no matter what. And that is tragic, to be stabbed and almost killed in prison. So imagine that as a father. Here's what else he had to say about the conversation that he had, and you can hear him getting broken up about it.
Towards the end of our visit, he said, "Dad, why is it that my life has to go through so many trials? Why?"
All right. So, and there you have it. I do want to say, though, as we're revisiting what happened with this, because he was convicted of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, possession of a concealed unregistered firearm, and negligent discharge of a firearm. I think part of the issue was the way that Tory Lanez was acting.
Yes, I agree with that.
During this whole time, putting out albums, and
not letting his lawyers do the talking.
All right. Well, that is your GT. When we come back, we have About Last Night. That's where we discuss what we did last night. I already told you guys. I was actually watching the game last night, because why wouldn't I? How could I not? Watching the Knicks play. Ooh, we're going to see what's going to happen. We're going to see. But I tell you what, they're making a lot more money now all around, because now the series is going longer.
That's a fact.
It's way up.